Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is what you're looking at is my next project. This is what's called, or they're calling it an H74 engine. It's a 2-cylinder, 4-stroke gas engine, and it's an actual working engine. It's sold by Sterling Kit and Engine DIY online. I'll put some links in the description. They also sell an H75 version, which is a 4-cylinder, and an H73, which is just a single cylinder. So let me give you guys a tour of the engine, starting on this end. It's got a small fuel tank, radiator. You can see the carburetor, exhaust. Down here it's also got a flybar, like governor system. And see if I can get in there. This is the throttle linkage. It's hooked to the governor back here. And on top, the exhaust. You can see it's actually got a little flapper. Hopefully this all works. We'll see. I have not run it yet. So let's get it around to the other side. Well, actually here on the bottom too, there's a water pump. And the on-off switch for the ignition. The electronics are located in the bottom, and I'll flip it over and show you. From this view, you can see the valves, the valve springs, and it's got a flywheel on the front with some spots for pulley. Here on the other side, you can see the spark plugs and the wires. They go down in to the bottom into the ignition system. And again, you can see those that flybar governor. That's the oil fill. We're going to have to put some oil in there. And then on this end here is the ignition. It's an electronic ignition. And then on the front also, you can see it's got a little fan, radiator for the radiator, and also another flywheel on this side. And as I go around here, the radiator itself. So really impressed on the quality so far of the build. Looks really good. Hopefully runs as good as it looks, but we'll see here in the video. So some of the things when I was looking at this, they don't really list the dimensions really well. There's a drawing that comes with it and some specs. It gives you some basic dimensions, but it really doesn't help. And then some parts that come with it. It's a little starter rod that goes in the drill. And from what I know of this, it does not have cast iron rings on the pistons. So it looks like it has O-rings. So we'll see how that works, and how long it lasts is the biggest concern. So if we go in and get some dimensions on this, the flywheel on the front is a little over 3 inches in diameter. And, I'm looking at making this into a project, using it for something. That flywheel might just be a little too big. Might see how small of a flywheel this thing will run with. Overall width of the engine, let's see if we can get that. So a little over 2.5 inches wide, and then the overall length, let's see if I can get that. So yeah, from end to end, 6.9, let's say, inches. So that gives you some rough estimates between the two cylinders. Let's see what we got. 1.9 approximately. So those are the basic dimensions. The overall height is probably another one. Let's see what that is. So I don't know, to the top of the valves. Can't really see it in that view, but about 5.6 to the top of the valves. So here the engine rotates clockwise when it's going to be running, and here you can see the valves working. Close up there. So it all appears to be working correctly. What I want to do is really quick, we'll take a measurement on the valve clearance. Okay, so here I've got it rotated, so I've got the valve clearance here. So you can see them wobbling around. And what I found on most of them is that I could fit about a 10,000th shim under there. The only one that doesn't, which is a little tighter, is this guy here. Which at this point I'm not sure how to adjust it, so I'm not going to mess with it. But we'll see how it runs with just out of the box if I have to do anything. So at the bottom of the engine is the ignition system. It takes 3 AA batteries. And all the electronics are in here. I haven't tried opening that or anything, but again, we'll just leave everything alone for right now. So let's start with the water. I got this little cap. Oops. Let's get that off of there. Alright. Let's see if I can do this with one hand here. Alright. And yeah, water's going in. So we'll go ahead and fill up the radiator. So I did fill the radiator here. What I had to do is actually spin it and drive the water pump to get water flowing through the lines. And it took several, you could actually, I think, see a little bit of the water in there. Yeah. So it took a few turns, you know, to fill all the cavities inside the engine and everything with water. So I think we're good on the water. So I guess we'll move on to the oil. So I got 10 milliliters of oil measured out, and what we'll do is the oil fill plug is right here. Take that off. And we'll get some oil in the crankcase. So I got these small bottles. It looks like they are about 10 milliliters. It's got the nice little needle point, if you can see it, which helps me get into this. So I'll go ahead and just fill the crankcase here with oil. Okay, the next step is to get some gas in this thing. Actually, I had to put the batteries in. That probably should have been the first step, because I didn't want to tilt it and get all the water and the oil leaking out. So they have a little filler cap here. And I'll probably just use one of these and pour it in. So I'll come back when I do that. It's just hard to do with holding the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and try starting it just by hand. Let's see what happens. May not work at all. So I've got the garage open so I can ventilate things. Positive thinking here. So let's switch it on, and I'll just try turning it. Oh, pretty good. Maybe. I'll probably have to use the drill. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. It's pretty impressive. It ran right out of the box. That may need some adjustment. I did fill up the tank, so let's fire it up again. So I'm pretty impressed with the engine. Ran right out of the box with very little adjustment. It does look like it's got a little bit of an oil leak. We'll have to investigate there, but otherwise everything's looking good. So stay tuned to the channel for future videos. I want to do something with the engine. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. So hopefully see you guys soon, and thanks for watching.